All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time. Let's see, I think it's 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. It looks like I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and we've got some Statterbox crew already coming on in. Pussycat in the house, along with Nicola T. Good to see you both, my friends. All right, so today we have got a lot to cover. First off, let me get some adjustments here on the musics. The music that you are hearing in the background, by the way, is, hey Broken Soul, good to see you. This music, though, that you're hearing, by the way, in the background, as usual, is Lono. But it is Lono's latest release, Eevee Music, Molokai. Yes, When Ancestors Speak. It is available right about now. So if you go to LonoMusic.com, you can download Ancestors When the Ancestors Speak, and for $20 you get all 8 songs, you'll get the liner notes, you'll get the lyrics, you'll get all sorts of good stuff. Now, I want to let everybody know who might be here, who was with us last night when I mentioned that the Lono album dropped. It did indeed drop, but apparently it dropped with a little bit of some kerfuffles. Not everybody was able to get the download immediately. Lono took to his tech team. They're working on it as of today. They know who bought the albums. So if you do not have the download yet, don't worry. They're going to be getting it your way. They have a record of everybody who bought and everybody who had a kerfuffle getting it downloaded. Apparently Google needed to do something or something. I don't really know. But what I do know is we are right now listening to the music from When Ancestors Speak. It is Hawaiian folk music, Lono Molokai Eevee Band. This is what the cover of the album looks like. These are some of the liner notes and the songs that are included. There are longer and more liner notes that I'm not posting that have all the song lyrics. So this is the brand new release, released as of yesterday with a bit of a hiccup, but the hiccup is being fixed. So you will be able to download it, if not now, very shortly. And Lono's very excited because apparently folks have been attempting to download from the get-go, which is awesome. And not only is this first project of Molokai Eevee Band been released, it looks like within a month their second project will be coming out as well. And we will be talking about what that project is called a little bit later on. But right now we're focusing on When Ancestors Speak. And so all the music today that you will be hearing will be music off of this album. So we're going to do a loop. And the 8 songs off of this album are going to be repeated behind the scenes, behind my voice, this entire stream. So basically we will get, you will all get the full listening experience today. Of course, my voice will be over it, so it won't be the perfect listening experience, which is why you need to go to LonoMusic.com and download your own copy today. By the way, all these designs that you're seeing in the background with the triangulars and the diamonds, etc., that was all designed for LonoMusic by Keone Nunez, based on the clan that Lono is aligned with, and that's the Heva Heva clan. And so these symbols, though I am not privy to exactly what they mean, are actually very specific meaning and very specifically created for LonoMusic in regards to his heritage by Keone Nunez. So we are all privileged to get to look at this work. It's a cumulative effort of a bunch of elder Hawaiians who are keeping the culture alive. And I am so stoked that Statterbox crew supports this endeavor in all of its forms, from Keone Nunez's work to LonoMusic's work, and even Andy Bumatai's work, though not necessarily traditional native cultural stuff is, still a great supporter of his culture and his heritage. So Looks like we've got Elaine in the house. Let's see here. Anybody else sneak in while I was here? It looks like E-Music is in the house. We have got Broken Soul in the house, although I think I said hi to him. Looks like we have got both the YouTube and the Twitch side running. Gina, that's okay. You're only a little bit late. You haven't really missed much. In fact, the only thing that you might have missed was me talking about LonoMusic. And then we've got Andre in the house as well. So just in case all y'all didn't catch what I was just saying, boop. Lono released his latest album yesterday, LonoMusic.com, When Ancestors Speak. And we are listening to that album in its entirety over and over and over again today. So be sure to go to LonoMusic.com if you are interested in downloading your own copy. I guess it is Release Party Sunday to a degree there, Gina. We really don't have much more to talk about other than what I just covered, which is we're listening to the new stuff, and then even more new stuff is going to be coming out in about a month, give or take. Obviously, there's no set in stone time schedule. When the art is ready to be released, it will be released, because this is a legitimate work of professional art, right? So you want to get perfection. Unlike the art that I support all of us having and doing, which is art that might not be perfect yet. Art that we're just beginning to learn how to do. Well, Lono is not beginning to learn how to do anything in regards to this, so his level of perfection is perfection. My level of perfection for things and stuff is a little bit lower, and that's what we like to celebrate here on Mad Statter, is everyone learning how to do things and putting it out to show off, even though it might not be perfect. And then we've got the pros over here, like Lono, who, all right, fine. They strive for perfection. Okay, all right, fine. They strive for the perfections. So yes, I hope that you enjoy what you're hearing. 8 new songs, and like I said, in another month or so, another 8 songs should be coming out. Okay, so now that we've got the background music covered, I would like to revisit a topic that I don't think we discussed on Chatter with Statter, but many of us hang out on the Daily Pigeon Live with Andy Bumatai. And Andy Bumatai and James Mane, they had a discussion about a new growing sport called PickleBall. Now, PickleBall is, for me, not a new sport. PickleBall was invented in 1965 in Kitsap County, and that is the county that I grew up in after leaving Hawaii. All throughout my childhood, elementary, junior high, and high school gym classes, we all played pickleball. Pickleball was a well-known sport in the 70s, in my era, the 70s and the 80s. So we already knew about pickleball in my neck of the woods. Pickleball, however, was still, a growing type sport, right? In its growth, people asking about origin stories was wondering how'd they get the name pickleball. Now, as someone who grew up in the locale of the pickleball origin, I can tell you wholeheartedly that the myth and the folklore was not myth and folklore, it was solid reality. And that solid reality that we were told it was named after the dog, the inventor's dog. As it turns out, that is so totally not right. That is not right at all. We were lied to, you guys. We were lied to. Okay, maybe you weren't lied to. I was lied to. So, the other day, when I insisted to anyone and everyone on the Daily Pigeon Live feed that the dog was the reason for the name of the sport, I was woefully wrong. Woefully wrong. Not at all how it happened. The dog didn't even come into the family until 3 years after the sport was named and invented. So, as it turns out, for those of you who are into the rowing crew culture, that college sports have, the rowing crews, well, apparently there is a tradition within the sport of rowing. The people who aren't the first string rowers, the ones who when the rowing team goes to a competition, the first string is the one that like gets to compete, you know, and then you've got like the other people. Well, the other people eventually get a chance to compete in different kind of competitions in a mixed bag, and those are called the pickle boat races. Those are like the B team in crew. And sometimes the pickle boat races aren't even all with the same, it sounds like the same crew members. Like sometimes it's the members from mixed colleges will be in the same boat. So it's a mixed bag of rowers, basically. And those are called the pickle boat races. Now, the wife of the inventor was a major rower crew in college, big fan of that whole regatta scene. And she figured since the sport of pickleball used a tennis court, a badminton net, a wiffle ball, and started out as ping pong paddles. They're not anymore, but they started out as ping pong paddles. Because it was 4 different sports squished into one sport, it was like the pickle boat races, and so she referred to it as pickleball. So technically speaking, the story about the boats, the story I never heard until just recently, that's the truth. Now, how it happened that I got the story wrong and everyone else got it wrong, in an interview in the early 70s, the inventor of pickleball, the sport, jokingly, he gave the real version, but then he also jokingly said, but we like to say we named it after our dog, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reporter was like, you know what? I'm going to run with the dog story because the dog story is way cuter. And so the dog story is what got published. And so that is how the folklore got a foothold within the history. But as it turns out, we were lied to. So, now you guys know. Just wanted to let you guys know. I was completely wrong. And, turns out the boating thing is how pickleball actually got its name. So, let's see here. Let's see here. Pussycat, talking about how you got dumped on last night today. Your backyard was flooded like you've never seen before, and you've seen a lot of rain. Yeah, there you go. And Cindy wanting to know if anybody's around Vermont area. And Pussycat, nope, got a lot of rain, but we're on the east coast of Florida. Yep. Speaking of weather, all y'all, I don't know what is going on with the weather out here. It's still kind of warm, but I swear to gosh, the weather is changing. Because last night I woke up and the plate in my ankle was screaming like it only screams when there's a weather pressure change. And so I haven't looked at the forecast for the Seattle area, but I'm thinking it's going to start cooling off real soon because the ankle or the plate in my ankle says that it's going to be cooling off real soon. And yeah, that's right. I just turned into old granny on the front porch, letting you know that rain is coming on Tuesday. My trick knee is telling you so. But that's just how that works. So there you have it, rabbits. Rain is coming on Tuesday. My trick knee told me so. And let's see here. Picola Tea placed flowers at in-laws' gravesite today. We popped a can of beer, took a sip, and poured out the rest for Dad. Anyone else have traditions or customs they practice at cemeteries? That seems like a really great tradition there, Picola Tea. I know that when we spread my mom's ashes up at Haleakala, we poured out some, we smoked a cigarette. Oh, God, I tried, okay? My sister and my friend smoked the cigarettes. I tried, didn't really work. And we poured out some Dewar's Scotch whiskey. So that was what we did there. But in regards to actually at her gravesite, I have not ever poured out some Scotch whiskey, so I probably should do that. And let's see here. Cindy Krause says they say cooling, which means not 110, only the mid-90s. Yes, I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that. And speaking of Cindy and cooling to the mid-90s, Cindy's area was on fire last week. I believe last Sunday even. And we didn't talk about it on Wednesday. I didn't have the info on Sunday to talk about it. Forgot to talk about it on Wednesday. But today, I did upload all the pictures. And these are the things that Cindy sent to me. Pictures of the fire. And oh my God, 117 yesterday, Cindy. That's insane. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. But this picture right here was taken from Cindy's front door. So look at the hills in the background, and then you can see, and then look at that hill. That hill is completely black, and it sounds like, from what Cindy said, that our very own Poppy Shaney and her neighbor were both part of the flying crew that spotted this particular fire. And yeah, Picola Tea, exactly. That looks really close. Like, even though I know that the fire is out now, looking at that picture still makes me tense. I mean, I just feel like had I been Cindy, I would have probably evacuated. And then my neighbors would have pointed and laughed at me, but I still would have evacuated because it just looked really close, and that's too close for comfort. No, I know. No, thank you. And Pussycat, as far as, oh wait, okay, so Cindy's coming in. Poppy Shaney was not flying, but Todd is his friend and your neighbor, and Todd, I guess, was the one that was flying. Okay, I misunderstood the message. Thank goodness you're here, Cindy, to clarify the situation. And so, yes, Gina, let me second and third your statement and third your statement. That is totally scary looking. Totally scary looking. So, we're not going to look at that scary thing anymore. We're going to look at this scary thing right now. Now, yes, Pussycat, I've totally heard that Death Valley went to that 130, and it only happened 5 times before. My best guess is, and I think we all know what I'm about to say, we're going to see 130 again. Right? Right. But also, Pussycat, I know they will not let you be buried up at Haleakala. That I can guarantee you. In regards to scattering your ashes, you don't really need permission, dude. So if you can find somebody who's willing to make the trek up to the top, or as close to the top as they can get, then, you know, you can scatter them wherever you're going to scatter them. At least that's my understanding. Hey, Honda, good to see you. And let's see here. Cindy, you and your daughter drove out there to gawk, and you'll send up close pics. And Andre, legally you need to ask, but nobody does. Who are you supposed to ask? What? What? And how are they going to prove it? Like, I know that you're not supposed to just dump ashes, you know, in trails, and at like public beaches, because it's kind of creepy and weird. But, I mean, is it illegal? Because where I went was where ashes were always scattered. Like, that is traditionally where the ashes would have been scattered, apparently, is actually where we happened onto it. We didn't realize that lookout, or we didn't know that there was a lookout for that. But apparently there is a traditional lookout where they would scatter ashes, and so we went and scattered ashes. What better place to go than the traditional spot, right? Yes, and exactly, C Honda for in regards to Cindy. We are so glad that your house is still there and that you're okay. I am curious though about those closer upper pictures. I don't know if I want to see them, but I guess I do want to see them. So there you go. Well, okay, but Andre, you're talking about California. I'm talking about Hawaii. Piccology, technically you have to get permission on state, federal lands to scatter anything, but who really keeps track of that? Got it. But, okay. Well, we didn't. All right, so Pussycat is requesting a little bit of a Lono boost. So I just boosted it just a smidge there, Mr. Man. I'm not sure if it's too loud now or not, because I'm running sans earphones as per usual. And so let's see what else we have on the agenda today. And so Cindy Krause, it was close, but not that close. We live a few minutes from CDF Airport. They are due well trained. Okay, I don't know what that meant. They're so well trained, and it was contained at 355. That is a lot of acres, but honestly, not that many acres in the scheme of scariness. So, all right, what am I doing now? Okay, we've got the pickleball. See, I've got a whole list of things that I was going to talk about today, but I can't read my writing. Oh, I know what I was going to. I remember now. Okay, so you guys, we were talking about pickleball, and then, oh wait, okay, hold on. Say what? Say what's in the house. Hey, say what? Good to see you. It's been a minute. So let's see here. So a Panda Express opened walking distance from your house. I've never actually been to a Panda Express. What should I order? I need it on the list. Okay, and Gina says music is too loud. All right, so we're gonna turn it back down just a little bit, and let's see here. Say what? I actually am a huge fan of the little chicken mushroom stir fry, and I think there's a green bean something or other there that's not too bad. But if you're going to eat the chicken mushroom stuff, be sure to eat it with rice. And by the way, just get the plain rice. Their fried rice is really subpar. And when I say subpar, I mean subpar. So don't bother to get this fried rice. Get the plain rice. The chicken mushroom is really good. And then like I said, I always get something. It's got green beans in it, but I don't remember what else is in it. But the green bean thing is yummy. Now, Carl in Arkansas. Say what? No, Uncle Roger would not cry. Uncle Roger first off, he would drop his leg from his chair, and then he would probably shout and be angry. So, there's a whole lot of hi-ya, or no, hi-you, no, very unhappy Uncle Roger. Very unhappy Uncle Roger. But Carl in Arkansas sounds like he might have something important to say. So yes, please, Carl in Arkansas, I don't know what you're talking about with Brother Bruce, so please let us know what's going on with someone in our community here, because it sounds like we might need to know something. And so while we wait on Carl in Arkansas for hopefully good news, but I feel like maybe it might not be, I'm going to maybe rewind a little bit back to the pickleball and topic, and how the pickleball was not named after a dog. The dog in question was a cockapoo, just so you know. But we're not going to talk about cockapoos. We're going to talk about golden retrievers, because this week marked the 155th anniversary of the breed creation golden retrievers. Hold on. We're going to talk about the cuteness in a minute. We need to rewind. All right. Carl in Arkansas. Bruce lost his house in an early morning fire. He lost everything. You set up a GoFundMe to help him. Oh my God. Now, this wasn't, okay, Brother Bruce is based in Hawaii, correct? Yes, I know that. He's based in Hawaii, though, right? Correct, Carl in Arkansas? How, I'm assuming it wasn't a wildfire, it was some sort of home fire that happened. That is horrifying to hear. And could you, actually, thank you so much, Shock. I was going to say, could we somehow get a link that I could post live? So, Carl, they're not sure what caused it. Okay. Well, Carl, thank you for coming in. And oh, that's right, Carl, you can post those hot links too. Thank you so much for passing that news along. For those of you who don't know who Brother Bruce is a fellow content creator on YouTube mostly, and he does just random daily points of view videos from Oahu Island. Sometimes it's just the sun setting, sometimes it's the sun rising, sometimes it's just a drive along a beautiful street, a beautiful road, beautiful scenery from Hawaii is what Brother Bruce specializes in. And LonoMusic has graciously offered all of his music for Brother Bruce's creations. So Brother Bruce is another creator who uses a lot of Lono's music. So if you do go to Brother Bruce's YouTube page, you might hear some familiar songs, and you'll definitely be able to witness some beautiful Hawaiian scenery. So, so I'm very happy to know that there's been that GoFundMe set up, and thank you so much, Carl, for coming in and letting us know. So if you guys do have a couple pennies to throw Brother Bruce's way, by all means do it. But you know what? Even if you don't have the money, go give his channel a little look-see-loo. Maybe follow or subscribe. You know, just let him know that you're at least thinking of him. He is super good people, and hopefully this loss will be as painless as a loss like this can be. Good Lord, you lose everything in a house fire. It's just, that's just awful. So, hopefully we can all band together and give him a little bit of help. I'm sure that his homeowner's insurance will eventually do something, but sometimes you need things a little quicker than the insurance company will give you. So maybe that GoFundMe will help cover some interim costs. So now that we have a not so cute topic that we're coming from, maybe we can readjust ourselves to a super cute topic. Now, you guys know I'm a cat person, you know that. But who doesn't love a good golden retriever? Who doesn't love 100 good golden retrievers? Who doesn't love infinity golden retrievers? These are golden retrievers at a gathering in Scotland. In Scotland is where this breed was created 155 years ago. This weekend, they had a gathering, and so people brought in their retrievers from all over the world. And let's see here. I guess the golden retriever in the late 1800s was created by crossing a wavy-coated retriever with a tweed water spaniel. And they were created by Lord Tweedmouth. I cannot make this up. His real name was Dudley Majorabanks, aka Lord Tweedmouth, and he was trying to create a dog that could swim well and retrieve waterfowl from the duck hunts with a gentle grip not to, with a gentle grip not to damage the bird. And so I just thought when I saw this picture, even though there's really nothing to say other than, oh, who's a good boy? Oh, you're a good boy. You're all good boys and girls. I just thought I would share this scenario of cuteness because, come on, you guys. Come on, you guys. And so, Piccolo-T, yeah, how do they know which one's theirs? I couldn't even begin to tell you. And with as silly and goofy as retrievers get when they're all around each other, you know that half of them are going to forget their names. I mean, you know, they know their names, but they're so distracted by all the other dogs that, you know, you can call all you want. You know, hey, Pupperdoodle, you know, whatever, you know, Lord Tweedmouth III. Come on, come on, come on. Lord Tweedmouth III, he might hear it, but he forgets that he's Lord Tweedmouth III. He's just running free, sniffing butts he hasn't sniffed for a year. And so yeah. Now, Say What says National Poodle Day is October 7th in Carmel, California, and you will be there. That might be cool. I know that Golden, Colorado also has a Golden Retriever Day. I'm not sure what day it is, though. But yeah, Golden, Colorado, obviously, for obvious reasons, right, has a Golden Retriever Day, and well, it's cute, and I saw pictures of it, but the pictures weren't nearly as cute as the Scottish one, and since the dog is actually from Scotland, I figured I'd use the Scottish pictures because they're cuter. And standard poodles were first bred as a retriever as well. Yeah, poodles, oddly enough, poodles, you know, they're so associated with the miniatures and the teacups and the little annoying little ones. The standards, dude, they are serious water dogs, like crazy water dogs. And part of the reason why, Say What coming in, Golden Day is February 4th. Okay, well, we missed it. But this weekend in Scotland was when they did their Golden celebration. But back to the poodle topic. You guys may or may not know this, but those weird hairdos that poodles have, you know, they're known for, with all the different, like, shaved but then poofy and random weird spots. They're not poofy and random weird spots. They're actually poofy for very specific reasons. They're poofy in their joints. They're poofy over their kidneys. They're poofy. The poofy hair is there to help insulate a particular body part that needs insulation in the cold water that they were bred to dive into and swim through and then retrieve the waterfowl that was hunted. And so it might seem like, why are there two puffy puffs right near their butt? And it's like, well, for some reason you need to protect the kidneys. I don't know why, but you do. But that is why oftentimes at the, like at the little ankle joints, they've got the poofs, the hair poofs, because it's to insulate them. It's basically, it's their wetsuit. It's their wetsuit. That's what it is. It's their wetsuit. So, fun fact about that. And so, Say What? I don't know. Everyone needs a mohawk. There you go. I never had a mohawk. Of all the hairstyles that I did want as a kid, I never did have a mohawk. And one of the reasons is because my hair is just a little bit too thin right here to really pull off a good mohawk. And Andre, right, they needed to lighten up for the water, but also protect them from the cold water. Exactly, because if you've got yourself that's full of floof, that creates a lot of drag in the water, and so you gotta shave the floof. But sometimes parts of your body, they still need the floof. And so floof, by the way, total technical term. Oh, absolute technical term. If you're not familiar with that, it's because you aren't a dog person or something. Cindy, you were surprised the first time you saw a long-haired curly Weimaraner. The first Weimaraners had curly hair. I can't place what a Weimaraner... I always thought... Okay, I must not know what a Weimaraner is, because I always thought they kind of had wavy hair. But I'm maybe thinking of something completely different. So, now I'm confused. Weimaraners, they're big, right? And they're gray, usually? I don't really know what kind of dog that is now that I think about it. And, oh, wait. Okay, so Say What says yes, very big. Andre says Weimaraners are those light brown dogs that the guy takes a lot of photos of. Okay, so Cindy's saying blue-green eyes and short gray hair. Say what says very big. Andre says light brown. Okay, I'm gonna have to like look up what the flying fork of Weimaraner is because I am very confused. And Picola T coming in with the cold hard truth that we all know. Almost all of us here are guilty of it. I may have had a modified mullet in the 7th grade. Exactly. We all at one point had a mullet. At one point, we all had a variation of the mullet, a bi-level. It just is. Some mullets are a little more extreme than others, but if I look through my my school pictures, trust me, you will find a version of a mullet in there. Okay, so Andre's correcting himself. It's gray. Cola T is coming in. Hold up. It's a gray-brown. So everybody's right. Everybody's right here. All right, well, I still need to figure out what in the flying fork or Weimaraner is, because maybe I think I know, but maybe I don't. So, we'll figure it out. Most likely, we'll figure it out during a Lono listening break, but we're not going to take a Lono listening break right now. However, I am consulting my notes, because I've got so many things I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And let's see here. Oh, I know what I want to talk to you guys about today. Okay, so we've got some really awesome news that's a little bit different than the news we're used to hearing in regards to orcas. So let's go watch this really awesome thing, and then I'll show you something else that's even more awesome.
Video of the whales playing and socializing with one another has gone viral online. It was taken in the waters off Monterey Bay, California during a boat tour, leaving tourists and experts blown away.
This is not your everyday event. It was like a big party.
Video shows dozens of orcas having what marine biologist Nancy Black describes as the time of their lives.
I mean, it's pretty incredible to have such an encounter like that. And they were, exuberant. And yeah, the best word is that they were playful, they were happy.
The video captured earlier this month was taken by the Monterey Bay Whale Watch Tour Agency and shows a pod of 30 killer whales, part of 11 different families.
They all had gotten together on this day, and they were really active. They were breaching and tail slapping and playing, and all the youngsters from each family were intermixing. So it was like, kids on a playground that hadn't seen each other in a while.
What's even more remarkable, Black says, is how long they socialized for.
I've been doing this for like over 30 years, and they were doing this for over 8 hours, and I've never seen something like this last for so long. So that was so incredible about it.
Black, who's also the director of a nonprofit called the California Killer Whale Project, says most people typically see 2 to 7 whales in one sighting. And while they tend to hunt in large numbers, she says this encounter was out of the ordinary.
As far as socializing, this is the largest group I've seen do that. And that means that by chance, somehow all these families had to be within, close enough together in the ocean to form such a group.
The whales cover a large range stretching from Southern California all the way to British Columbia, leaving experts baffled as to how so many ended up together. They're also typically more active during April and May.
June, we don't see them as often in past years, and this June we've had more sightings than we'd expect, so it's a special occasion.
Black has an idea about why the whales were in such a good mood. She thinks they probably had a good hunting season, leaving them plenty of time to socialize and play. Rocia de la Fe, CBS 8.
All right, so that is let's see here. That is the neat little orca story. Now, oops, hold on. I need to fix something real quick, like a bunny here. There we go. And then, oops, I want to fix something else. Hold on. There we go. Okay, little background stuff. Sorry about that. All right, so. Oh no, yachts beware, says Andre. Perhaps. But to me, these particular orcas are way too busy having fun. and having basically a little family reunion or like a neighborhood block watch, a neighborhood block party. I think it was a neighborhood block party. And so obviously they had gotten their work done and it was just time to play. I wish that they would have gotten into what type of orcas they were, because I'm not as familiar with the California orcas as I am with the Salish Sea orcas, so I don't know if some of these were Biggs transients that were involved, or if maybe some of the southern residents from the Salish Sea were out there. I'm not really sure. But what I do know is that that orcas don't always have destruction in mind. In fact, there is evidence that orcas do like some people, and they might have a particular affinity for certain types of people. I'm not quite sure. What I do know is this. Boop. That's right, we've got a map. And this map is of the Paddle to Muckleshoot, which is happening virtually right now. We have got Native American and Indigenous tribes from Canada paddling from, like I said, as far north as Canada and Vancouver Island, down the Salish Sea, eventually into the eventually into the Puget Sound, Seattle area, where they will, on July 30th, hit shore. And they will be welcomed. Now, paddling this type of distance takes training, and lots of tribes who are going to be joining the paddle, who are a little bit closer, who haven't necessarily started the paddle yet, but they will be joining as all of the tribes come together. They will be joining, and those tribes are still practicing for the paddle. And just the other day, while the tribes were practicing and getting in shape for the paddle, they had a visitor. And this visitor came and visited the Tulalip Nation. In case you can't see what it is that is on this screen, it is 2 canoes full of paddlers. And between those canoes is a wild orca. And the orca is letting them pet it. Okay? So, this is pretty amazing. This orca could easily topple those boats without a second thought. But no harm clearly intended with this particular orca coming through and greeting the native paddlers who are going to be joining the Muckleshoot journey. And the Tulalip tribal members who got to experience this obviously considered it a blessing and a good sign. And basically, all I can say is, isn't that cool? And say what? Weren't they just doing that earlier this year, like in the news and everything? You mean destroying yachts and the like? Yes, they were. Absolutely, yes. Now, obviously, the orcas that are in the Salish Sea weren't the ones that were ruining the yachts. Those were the ones that were in the Mediterranean, and then later on in the North Atlantic, another set of orcas had decided to take on some boats. But over here, in this neck of the woods, a certain type of boat obviously does not piss off the orca. And that type of boat is the native canoe. Now, if there had been a yacht in the vicinity, I don't know what would have happened. I can't promise that orca would have been so friendly. But no yachts, so he had nothing but love for those paddlers. And you know what? It might have been a her too. I don't know if it was a he. I don't know if it was a she. So, but what I do know is the spiritual connection between the tribes up here in the Salish Sea and and basically their ancestors, the orcas, is strong. And so getting that picture, getting that moment captured in picture to me I'm so happy that it was able to be captured on picture, and I'm super stoked to be sharing it with everybody here in case you guys hadn't seen it. And so, yeah, see, Honda, you saw it earlier and you couldn't believe it either. Yeah, absolutely. It's just amazing. And so, So, even though like I said, the paddling hasn't completed, because they will, all the tribes will eventually be coming into the Seattle area, Alki Beach, actually, on July 30th. They're right around the Tulalip Nation now, and so Tulalip tribe will be eventually joining all of the other tribes that are participating in this particular paddle. We're going to have tribes from Quinault, Queets, the Hoh River, we've got the Makah tribe, and these are just tribes from the outer banks of the Olympic Peninsula. Muckleshoot is hosting it. Squamish is going to be hosting a huge event next weekend. So yeah, I'm very excited to see the canoes coming back to Seattle after a couple years worth of not paddling because, well, I think y'all know why, right? Right. So there you have it. Okay, so we're only about halfway through the list of things I wanted to talk at you about, all y'all. That means we are right about the time for our usual Lono listening break. And that brings me to Cindy Krause. I'm hoping to get pictures. It really all depends on the timing of it. But my friend Carrie from Roller Derby, she is Southeast Alaskan native. And she and I are hoping to greet to be a part of the ceremony down when they come and hit the beach. So in theory, yes, I will be there. But paddling all depends on weather, all depends on tides and currents, and all depends on human strength. So it's not like they can say, oh, well, we'll be landing at 10:30 a.m. on this day. It's like they've got a whole 24 hours of, window where they'll be showing up. So we'll see if the timing works out for me to get any footage of that. So back to the Lono listening break talk. All right, this particular song, by the way, is a song that is going to be featured on the second EV Music project. So, right, Picola T, it depends on the orca escorts. Exactly. So, I want to share with you this Lono tune called Life is Pretty Good, and it is a sneak peek for what EV project number 2 is going to be like. But before we do that, have good luck at the Panda Express there, say what? Hopefully you'll find something that is edible. Hey, you can't go wrong with plain rice, right? Seriously though, the green bean thing is, whatever the green bean thing is that I'm talking about, it's actually not that bad. And the mushroom chicken thing, it's not that sweet. But Andre was right. Everything there is really sweet. So you really don't want to go for the honey glazed whatever or the whatever. Like, the sweet is going to happen. So, all right. Rewinding here. I'm probably going to go do some research on the Weimaraner dog so I have an idea of what the flying fork all y'all are talking about. I mean, I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. So I'm going to do that. And then, exactly, Carl, don't order the honey glazed diabetic coma. Try to avoid that one. Because if you do that, then you can hang around and you can realize that life is pretty good. So here's Lono. Boop.
Okay, Kent and Angie, key of G. In the light of the river that flows, carries a lake, to the ocean it will go, then out to the sea, over the horizon, somewhere in a new world, waiting. And in this moment, I found a few friends who brought me comfort. darkest of days, and you see the light of your life racing in front of you, there we will stand and try again. For just one moment, I still remember you. For all the good things we share. Yeah, and we know life is pretty good. Sun is shining. When you get there, give me a call if you would. I'm just waiting. And the last time that we said goodbye, I could not feel the pain. Though I would try to feel the love that two people feel for one another, looking for bright days. I see your smile when I'm okay. Wonderful life is what we dream of. I see the light in your eyes. Yeah, we know life is pretty good. Sun is shining. When you get there, give me a call if you would. I'm just waiting. Yeah, we know life is pretty good. Sun is shining. Get there, give me a call if you would. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Life is pretty good. Life is pretty good.
Alrighty, so I was busy looking up Weimaraners, and I found out some interesting things. So let's see here. Alrighty, so first off, thank you so much, Mitchie Mama, for hooking Gina up with the story behind the story. And let's see here. Mitchie Mama, yes, glad to know that that glitch wasn't your new computer. Honestly, Mitchie Mama, that is half the reason why when glitches come out on my end, that's why I say it, because I know that as a listener or a watcher of streams, my first response is never going to be, oh, it's their fault. My first freak out is, oh, this is my computer somehow failing. So I wanted to let everybody know that, nay, it's something in my system that was all hamajang. And so there we go. And Stephen Mata, Lono has some amazing music. You love it. Yes. Generally speaking, most of us here do too. In fact, I dare say that if you hang out here, you have to have a certain amount of love for Lono, because that is the music that I play in the background all the time. So even if you don't love him, you certainly have to tolerate him if you're hanging out here. But as I mentioned earlier, and I'm not sure if you were here, Stephen, Lono has a new project that was just released yesterday called When Ancestors Speak. It's the Lono Molokai Eevee project, and that was available, or started to be available as of yesterday. There was a couple hiccups. Some people didn't get their downloads the way they thought they would. That is being worked out. But if you go to LonoMusic.com, in theory, the hiccups should be fixed by now. If you go to LonoMusic.com, you can download this new album, which is what we're listening to right now, or any of his other albums that he has got out. However, the song that we listened to just a minute ago, Life is Pretty Good, that is going to be coming out on the second EV project. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek, as it were, although not a sneak peek from me because it is on Lono's own YouTube page. LonoMusic on YouTube. Lono also has a YouTube page. The username is cowpe'epe'e, but if you're unsure of how to spell that, you can always just do a YouTube search for LonoMusic, and it should be boop ba-doop, one of the first things, if not the first thing that pops in the search box. And so, you're no problem, Stephen Mata. I love to spread the gospel of Lono, so I'm glad that we've got one more person who might be downloading one of their downloads. He's actually got, I think, like 15 or 16 albums to download from. But like I said, When Ancestors Speak is the latest. Now, we still have some more on the agenda. I can't remember what it is, though, which is why I, have to look things up. But, oh, right, I remember now. I have a question for you guys. I bought this at the thrift store the other day, and I don't really know what it is. It's so like, I think I know what it is. I know what I'm gonna try and use it for, but I don't really know if it's really what it is. Okay, so it's this thing. It's got like, let's see here. See, it's got all these little needles or pokies, you know? It's got a little protector, so when you're storing it, you don't hurt yourself with the pokies. But I'm assuming it's a meat tenderizer to poke the holes in the meat, you know? Pound, pound, pound. But I don't know. And so eMusic, it is a meat tenderizer. You think it really is? Because that's what I'm going to use it as. I've got some roast beef. I've got a cheap cut of meat that I'm going to try to make chicken fried steak with. And I needed a meat tenderizer. So, C. Honda, you think it's a meat tenderizer too? Okay, good. So good $5 spent. I spent this, I bought this yesterday, and I didn't really know if it was what I thought it was. But I thought it might be that. And so, okay, Elaine coming in, meat tenderizer instead of the hammer. Yeah, because I always seen the hammer, and I don't have the hammer. But I wanted to, I wanted to get good holes. So, okay, cool. All right, so I spent $5 for this. I think maybe it'll work. Excellent. Excelente. Okay. Now that we know what it is I bought, I'll be able to put it to use with a little bit more confidence. And so the final random scattered chatter that I have today, and boy, have we covered a lot of space. Well, it's funny you should say that, Stephen. Let's eat, because I was just about to talk about some food. That's right. It's not really chatter with statter unless we talk a little bit about food, right? Right. I think we all know that. And so a few days ago on Andy Boomatai's Daily Pigeon Live, somebody somewhere somehow was talking about radishes and turnips and things. And oh, Andre, you're right. We did talk about Panda Express. So I guess we've got the food already checked off, but that's okay. We're going to talk about it again. So we're talking about random stuff like turnips and radishes, and whether or not turnips and radishes were the same thing and stuff. As it turns out, no, they're not the same thing. I went and I looked. And first off, we've got our little radishes. And daikon is a type of radish. Right, Cola T, you were there. Right, someone said turnip. Turnip was daikon. Exactly. No, it's not. No, it's not. A radish. Here we go. This is what radishes look like sometimes. But as the second sentence says, first sentence says, radish has lots of varieties it comes in. There's daikon, green radish, black radish, oilseed radish, and red radish. So, they can be long, globe, or oval. The red globe radish is the most widespread and easily recognizable due to its reddish hue. It's usually eaten raw. And there we have it. So, that's what the little radishes are, and that's only one type of radish, obviously. The daikon can also be a radish, but a turnip, then there's something different. That's right, a turnip is usually white with pink roots. And if the root's flesh is white or yellow, you call it a rutabaga. Did you know that turnips and rutabagas are the same thing? I did not know that, but now we know. Turnip and rutabaga, interchangeable for the most part. Actually, that's not true. I guess it's just the white or yellow variety is what's known as the rutabaga. And then we've got, and nobody thought that these were the same, but they kind of look similar. We have got, we've got beets. And beets, they're completely different. They're either red or they're golden, and they're a member of the Swiss chard family, which is why their leaves look like Swiss chard. And there you have it. So, that is the little rabbit hole that I went down to try to figure out whether or not a turnip and a radish was the same. No, they are not. No, they are not. Nicola T, where does a parsnip fit in? You know, you would point out my failure. I did consider going further down the rabbit hole to the parsnip situation, but I decided I was going to hold back. And so, we might have to discuss parsnips and carrots maybe next Wednesday. Because, you know, we can't let a question about a parsnip go unanswered. We just cannot. We just cannot. And I want to see what Elaine had to say, though. Your mom made barbecue meat with flank steak cut in thin strips at 45 or more degree angle to cut the muscle. Oh, so the meat was less chewy. Yeah, you can poke through the whole meat to tenderize. Yeah, Elaine, that's totally what a good little flank steak type thing is. Very delicious. But I'm going to attempt to make chicken fried steak. So we'll see how that ends up, and trust me, you guys will hear of it. Success or failure, especially a failure, you will hear all about the experience. Yeah. And let's see here. Okay. So, Andre, a parsnip is related to carrots. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can only assume it is. I mean, look at them. And hold on one sec here. Stephen Mata, your driveway, I'm not sure what you mean by that. You've got some parsnips or things growing in your driveway? And E-Music wants to know, kohlrabi, where does that fall? I don't know. What is... I know the name kohlrabi, but I can't even envision what kohlrabi looks like. So, parsnips, kohlrabi, and carrots, they're going to be the next rabbit hole. Because at the end of every rabbit hole, Nicola T reminds us, you're going to find a bunch of carrots. And Felicia, beets, ooh, tell me about it. In fact, beets were the one food that my mom, when I was a kid, never forced me to eat, because she did once when I was a baby, super tiny baby. Well, I guess not super tiny because I was eating food at that point, but, you know, high chair, tiny baby. And the doctor had told her at the previous visit that they had that infants don't have developed taste buds, so just feed her all the good foods, feed her the nutritious foods. She's not going to like or dislike anything at this age. By the way, the doctor was a male. And, yeah, so my mom decides to try to introduce me to some beets, some, Gerber beets. And so she takes like the tiniest little half teaspoon baby food spoon full of beets, and she puts it in my mouth. And apparently I like, and then I just spit that hot pink slurry all over the kitchen. All over her face, all over the ceiling, all over the everywhere. It abso-flippin'-lutely looked like the kitchen apparently was painted pink. And so from that point on, everybody else in my family had to eat the beets. But I, even as a grown-up, I was exempt. And so you, sister, little Felicia, do not need to tell me how beets is, because they ooh. However, you know, I will say I do like a good borscht, which makes no sense. I understand it makes no sense, but I do. I like a good borscht. And so, okay, it looks like, okay, so whoa, wait, what? Okay, Mitchie Mama, you like pickled beets. I've never tried them. I could see myself liking pickled beets. Part of the reason why I don't like beets is because they're too sweet and they taste like dirt. So maybe the pickles will help with that. Or with mayonnaise. What? Huh? That's so confusing to me. And let's see here. Okay, so as far as kohlrabi goes, it's called a German turnip or a turnip cabbage. That's not fair. Turnips and cabbages are two very different. What? Okay, it's the cultivar of the same species as cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, collard greens, Savoy cabbage, and gailan. It can be eaten cooked or raw. All right, but I still don't know. I'm gonna have to look up what kohlrabi is because I cannot picture it in my head. I know the name. I've heard the word, but let's see here. Picola T hated canned beets as a child, but as a grown-up, the roasted beets are your favorite. And eMusic, pickled beets equals delicious. I admit, I would try a pickled beet. I would. I generally don't mind, as long as it's not sweet. I don't like sweet pickled stuff, you know, but if it's like sour pickle stuff, I can handle that. And let's see here. Elaine, your son had sensitivity to carrots as a baby, just came right out. Yeah, but later as he grew up, he could eat carrots. Strange. Well, you know, everybody's body develops differently. I know that my sister was unable to eat corn when she was a kid, but now, well, we will fisticuff over that last corn on the cob. And Mitchie Mama, Diamond Head Grill has this salad where it is topped with a bunch of raw, long, grated beets. Dressing is with oil and vinegar. Okay. And Andre, it's a beet. How can they make it sour? Good question. I don't know. I'm just hoping that in the process of pickling, the vinegar would be able to oomph up the sour nature. But yeah, beets are so sweet that I don't doubt that even a pickled beet has probably a touch of sweetness to it. So I'm a little nervous, but I'd try it. I would try it. I might not want to have a whole jar on hand, but I'd try it. I would. And let's see here. Okay, so, all right. So, now, I actually forgot that I had another topic we were going to talk about. I wonder if we should talk about it. Now that we're talking about food, I wonder if we should go backwards in time and talk about otters. They're on the run. Otters, they're gangster, man. And let's see here. Have I ever had a pickled egg? It kind of scares me. You want to try it? Well, I have had a hard-boiled egg that was soaked in vinegar. So I don't really know, is that how they make pickled eggs? Or are pickled eggs not hard-boiled? In which case, I don't really know if I don't know. But I have had a hard-boiled egg that was soaked in vinegar, and it was pretty tasty. Let's see here, Piccolo beet salad with goat cheese and walnuts. Could eat that every week. I will let you eat that every week, my friend, because I don't like goat cheese, I don't like walnuts, and beets are a real big if. So, here's the deal, Piccolo. You won't even have to share that with me. You can have it all for yourself. Exactly. More for you. More for you. And, let's see here. You mean the ones they got floating in the big jar, not refrigerated, that kind of scared you about them? Yeah, I don't know. Right? No, I know that that's what you mean, Andre, as far as pickled eggs go, because that's how they have pickled eggs. And I've never had a pickled egg out of one of those jars. But I do know that I think it was like a science experiment or something. We had to soak a hard-boiled egg in vinegar, and I ended up eating the egg, and it was just fine. So maybe by default, is that a pickled egg? I don't know. And Mitchie Mama, hard-boiled egg soaked in vinegar is close to balut. No, well, I guess maybe, except for it doesn't have the crunchy bits in the middle. See, that's the deal with the balut, right? That, and I used a chicken egg, not a duck egg, because apparently balut is duck. I spent all this time thinking it was chicken. It's actually duck. And for those of you who don't know what the flying fork we're talking about, balut, it's some sort of pickled, fermented, aged, I'm not really sure, duck egg that has some of the baby duck, well no, it has all of the baby ducks still in it. And I guess baby duck is good eating. It's a little crunchy and it stinks, but you know, people eat them. I'm not one of those people, but they do eat them. And let's see here. Not Piccolo, I'm sorry. C Honda coming in. Lowry's has a spinning salad with lettuce, some egg, and pickled beets. And you like beets that way. Okay, I like lettuce. I like egg. I might like a pickled beet. If I like the pickled beet, it sounds like I might like that salad. And right, exactly, Piccolo, I draw the lines at feathers and beak. Yeah, the crunchy bits is from what I hear. Well, from what I hear, they're crunchy. Pussycat. Sometimes I just listen to the chat. I'm more of a creamed onion kind of guy. Oh my God, are you... Those little tiny cocktail onions? Is that what you're talking about, Pussycat? The little onions, creamed, those, oh, flippin' flirpin' flop, dude. My mom made creamed onions every holiday meal. I don't know why. I know that she made them because her dad liked them, but see, the thing is her dad was dead and had been for decades. But yeah, those creamed onions, dude, they were so weird. Now, as a kid, I didn't like them at all. As an adult, I actually don't mind them. But I just feel like, obviously it was the British who creamed an onion, right, I guess. But like, who the hell decided to cream onions? Because onions are so good without the cream. I don't know. But yeah, there we go. Piccolo, it's the pearl onions. That's what they were called. I call them cocktail onions because, well, we don't need to know why I call them cocktail onions, do we? Yeah, anyway. And you prefer the creamed spinach over the onions. You know, creamed any vegetable just sounds awful. But quite honestly, as an adult, I've realized it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. And, Elaine, your grandson learned to eat balut from Filipino neighbors and he loves it. Oh, you've got a real stink food kind of guy right there. Yes, you do. And Andre, the English can make a mess of cooking. True, but as it turns out, even their creamy mess is kind of tasty sometimes. I just saw, I'm gonna assume I saw it on YouTube. There's a content creator whose whole channel is nothing but traditional English food. And how it's actually really good food, which, I will admit, like, Yorkshire pudding is so flippin' delicious, and the English do have some things that are pretty good. Sausage rolls, sign me up. I love sausage rolls. The English can make good food. I'm not saying that they always do, but they do have it in them. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And so let's see here. Andre, pudding is confusing. Some is sweet and some is a meat like sausage. Well, to confuse things further for you, Andre, because clearly you don't know what Yorkshire pudding is. Yorkshire pudding is a bread. It's a fried bread. It is a little bready dough cooked in beef fat. So, so pudding in English cuisine can be blood pudding, which is like a meat. It can be a dessert, or it can be a piece of English fry bread. Because basically that's what it is English fry bread. And that English fry bread is tasty. So, yes, apparently they do love confusion. They do love confusion. And Picola Tea, have I ever tried a Scotch egg? Yes, such yummy fried sausagey goodness. Oh my gosh, honestly, I could probably have a Scotch egg for breakfast every single day. I don't because they're a pain in the arse to make. And I do like the idea of being able to walk on my own two legs as opposed to being rolled out the front door. But, yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. A Scotch egg, just so you guys know, in case you don't know what it is, you take a hard-boiled egg, and then you wrap it around in a 1/4 pound of sausage, and then you dip it in some egg wash and roll it in breadcrumbs, and then you deep fry the whole thing. Because, the Brits, they love to deep fry. And that's what you do with the Scotch egg. And, like I said, I could eat a Scotch egg every single flippin' day. And Pussycat, you are exactly right. You are exactly right. It's made from the drippings of the prime rib, is what the Yorkshire pudding is. But it is neither dessert nor meat. And so there you go. And Picola Tea, you've never attempted to make one. I attempted to make one, and it was not good. And we're just gonna leave it at that. So that's another reason why I don't eat them every day, because I attempted to make them once, and it was not good. I somehow managed to overcook the egg in the middle, yet somehow keep the sausage raw, but then also burn to an unidentifiable crisp the breading on the outside. So, that's the Scotch egg. You guys might be talking about the Yorkshire puddings, and no, I've definitely never tried to make that because I don't have enough prime rib grease to make Yorkshire puds. In fact, I don't have any prime rib grease because I don't think I've ever purchased a prime rib in my life because, I don't got that kind of beef money, man. Prime ribs, have you seen how expensive they are? Have you seen how expensive the prime ribs are? It's no flippin' wonder you gotta use every drop of the oil and don't let anything go to waste. Yeah, so, let's see here. Alright, so, we're gonna sneak in one last thing that I wanted to talk about really quick. And it's cute. It's cute. In fact, it's as close as we're gonna get on the West Coast, I think, to the raging orcas that are taking over the yachts of the Mediterranean. As it turns out, Monterey Bay has a gangsta otter. That otter right now is on the run. The man is after the otter, and the otter knows it, and it's being wily like that. And the otter will not be caught. But what otter are we talking about? We're talking about Otter 841. We're talking about the otter that has decided it wants to become a surfer. That is right. Over the last couple months, there's an otter in Monterey Bay that, or in the Santa Cruz area, excuse me, that has decided that it takes, it really just likes to chill on the surfboards. Now, it used to be kind of funny and cute, and people weren't worried about it, and the otter was generally pretty gentle. Lately, however, though, the otter has gotten a little bit more aggressive with its surfing, and it's kind of adopted a Southern California mentality. Definitely a hardcore beach, surf or die type of punk rock otter situation. And so it is firmly of the mindset, surf or die. And or die would be us, the ones he's stealing the surfboards from. The otter in question has started to bite and gash the surfboards that he's commandeering. So because of this newfound danger, they are trying to capture this otter and bring it back to, I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. They're going to rehome it somehow. This otter was originally born in captivity, which partially explains its very strange behavior. Its mother was semi-domesticated. Because of the semi-domestication, its mother had to be rehomed in the aquarium. The mother gave birth to this particular otter in the aquarium. They tried to keep that otter as wild as possible. It seems to succeed, but then suddenly after this otter has been in the wild for a few years now, it has started to take a liking to surfboards and surfing. And so it has decided that it wants to surf. And so it's gonna surf. And if you don't want it to surf, well, you're gonna die, man. So, or maybe it'll just bite you. And that'll be a problem. But Bacola T, I don't remember the South Park episode you're talking about that features organized combat otters. I would not be surprised. I have no doubt in my mind that you're not imagining that. No doubt in my mind. I'm telling you, otters are gangster. I didn't know how gangster the sea otters were until recently, but river otters are gangster, and you don't mess with river otters. So I am not at all surprised to learn that there's sea otters. Oh yeah, they got it in them too. Because river otters can gang up and take down an alligator. I mean, granted, not like a 20-foot alligator or even a 10-foot alligator, but a group of otters can take down like a 5 or 6 foot alligator. Now, granted, it's not just one otter, it takes a couple of them, but they are coordinated and organized. Coordinated and organized combat river otters is what the river otters are. And I'm sure they've trained their seafaring cousins, and this seafaring cousin has decided to commandeer some surfboards. And there we go. Now, it's on the lam because the authorities are trying to catch him, and they've gone out on boats and put bait surfboards out. But I think that it sounds like the otter is kind of like a toddler in the sense that it's like, I don't want that surfboard, I want your surfboard. How some kids are just like, it's two identical toys, but I don't want the one that's not being played with. I want the one that the other kid is playing with, and then it's like havoc happens. I think that's what's going on. The otter only likes surfboards that people are on, because the otter is not taking the bait. It's not taking the bait boards, as it were. And so they haven't been able to catch the otter ever since they decided we need to catch this otter, because the surfers who used to interact with the otter and then are continuing to interact with the otter have become more and more frightened of the otter. The otter has become more and more aggressive. And so it really does sound like it is time for the otter to be removed, because ultimately, if the otter does bite a human being, that's a death sentence for that otter. That otter will be killed. Whereas right now, they are going to look to rehome it. Now, I don't know if it will be rehomed in the wild or back to the aquarium. I'm going to assume it's going to go to the aquarium. But I know not of what the plans are, so obviously don't quote me on that. But yeah, we have got basically, gangsta otters going on. And so, yeah, so that was the little cute thing that I wanted to share about that. I mean, I don't know how cute it is. It's a little bit scary, but, there you have it, Rabbit. The otters, they're turning gangsta. They're cute gangstas, but, the bad boys are always the cutest, right? The bad girls, they're always the cutest. The ones that are bad for us, they're always the ones that are the cutest. Just me? Okay. Just me. Okay, you guys, we are 3 minutes to the bottom of the hour, which means we are going to be wrapping it up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I want to thank Carl in Arkansas for letting us know about Brother Bruce, and Shock and Carl in Arkansas, thank you for putting up that GoFundMe link. Thank you so much, Mitchie Mama. I believe it was Mitchie Mama who threw down the link to the details of what happened to Brother Bruce's house. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Andre, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Ding Dong Dilio. And it looks like Mitchie Mama is maybe there with me. The bad ones are always better. Exactly. And Picola T, exactly. We've got bully orcas of the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and we got gangsta otters of the Pacific. Frankly, I'd rather have the gangsta otters. Just saying. And, yeah, exactly, Andre. So many gangsters in California, so not surprised at the marine animals throwing up gang signs, right? Right, exactly, You've got the Sereños, who are, MS-13, then you've got the Norteños, who are, number 14, and then you got the Otteros, which are, number 15. I don't know how to say otter in Spanish, so there you go. They're Otteros. Not to be confused with Cheerios. And, oh no, you know what, you guys? No, hold up. I've got one more thing that I want to do. While we had the Lono listening moment, I did go and get pictures of the Weimaraners, and you guys are gonna blow your minds, man. This is the last minute, after the credits roll kind of thing. Oh, I gotta find it. You guys are gonna blow your minds, because you think you know what a Weimaraner looks like. That's right, you think you know, but actually, it doesn't always look like that. So, boop, and boop, and then hold on. Now we go, boop. That's what a Weimaraner is. But that also is a Weimaraner. They come with long hair. Weimaraners come with long hair. And that is probably how the hair got curly, was from the longer hair. And it's a gray-colored dog. That's the Weimaraner. And then that's the long-haired Weimaraner. And frankly, I think the long-haired one is a way cuter dog because it looks stupider. It looks stupid. It looks like it looks like an airhead. I love his little airhead Fluffy. I don't know what it is about fluffy hair and airheads, but his fluffy hair makes him look like an airhead. And so, that is what we're going to be closing the stream with the long-haired fluffy puffers. And let's see here. Andy does a doot, I do a more delicate boop. I know it's a bad habit that I picked up from that stream, but hey, we all learn from one another. Okay, so we're gonna hang out hopefully on Monday with Daily Pigeon Live podcast, but if we're not gonna do that, I hope to see you guys on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's when we do Wednesdays on Chatter with Statter. 4 p.m. Pacific, Wednesday. That'll be the next time the chatter will scatter. So, all right, y'all. Have yourself a great rest of the weekend. I'll see you soon.